Glad you're here with us this afternoon for today's webinar around financial literacy initiatives. As you know, April is Financial Literacy Month, and so we're excited as the County Office of Ed to be celebrating and taking on this important work. Our superintendent, Dr. Gomez, very much believes in the power of financial literacy, especially for our younger students, and so we're happy that you're here to get some ideas that you can use in your schools, in your classrooms, with your families and kiddos as well. So let's go ahead and get started. For those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Pedro Caro, and I serve RCOE as a coordinator of college and career readiness. And so I believe in this work very much as a former school counselor of many, many years, and love what we can do together. I want to introduce one of today's hosts and presenters, Mr. Neftali Galarza.
Hi everyone, pleasure and thank you all for joining us here. Neftali Galarza, Coordinator of Community Engagement and Partnerships for the Office of Rivers County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Edwin Gomez. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Next slide, please. And so for folks, you might have been on yesterday, but perhaps not, just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. Just know this meeting is being recorded so that you may access it at a later time. I know some folks have other things to get done and you have to jump off, or maybe you got here late, but we're so glad that you're here. Hi, Ms. Johnson. And so you'll get that as well in an email when we send it out to you all. We're not using the raise hand function for this webinar, but please go ahead, use the chat feature. You can unmute yourselves as well if you'd like to ask any of your questions at a good time. We want to just support you. And so every question we get, we make sure we answer it fully, and we're here to serve you. So please go ahead, don't be shy, ask those questions. We will definitely look at the chat room to make sure every single question gets answered and you leave here with the utmost confidence. And then lastly, hasn't happened yet, but every effort is being made to make sure that there's no Zoom bombers. If that was to happen, we'll simply reboot, get back on the same link, and business as usual. But thank you all for being here.
So why financial literacy? Dr. Edwin Gomez launched 4 initiatives earlier this year, and one of them is being financial literacy. Financial literacy for many is it can be the great equalizer in our society because many young adults, including young professionals, go into debt immediately after high school due to the lack of education. We need to make sure that we educate our educators, our students, our families on college affordability and planning, on financial planning and goal setting, on budgets, saving, credit, buying goods and services, income and asset protections, financial investment and retirement, and entrepreneurship. We strongly believe, and under the leadership of Dr. Gomez, is ensuring that students and our community, our educators, receive the full knowledge that what we can have. And it's things like bringing our partners like Altura today to present about the different possibilities and opportunities that exist in our communities. And so that's why we're here today. Next slide. Wanted to introduce, to piggyback off of what I was just mentioning, is being professionals that live next to us, work with us, and eat at the same restaurants that we do in our county. I'm working with Altura Credit Union, who has been a great partner of RCOE for many years, and especially since the times that I've been here. Juvenal Gonzalez, Business Development Officer. We see Altura at our Student of the Month conferences, sponsoring community businesses, sponsoring our scholarship opportunities, foundations, and so forth. And so, very happy to work with them today and bringing them in. And Juvenal, I'll give you the floor so that you can introduce yourself a little more and talk to us about Altura, and then go on into your presentation.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juvenal Gonzalez. I'm actually the Business Development Officer for the Desert Territory for Altura Credit Union. I've been in the finance industry for about almost 15 years now, working with all over the spectrum, from students to educators to business owners to just all over around, even personal banking. If you don't mind starting our presentation, next slide. There we go. I want to talk to you a little bit about Altura and what our main goals are. We were founded in 1957 by a Riverside Unified School District Secretary Peggy Green, and we were formed exclusively for Riverside County teachers. We're not a for-profit institution, which means that every single dime that we make, we have to give it back to the community in the form of sponsorships, scholarships, and even webinars like these. We have a really cool Department of Altura dedicated to serving our community and empowering our members' dreams called Altura Cares. Altura Cares is a segment that exclusively dedicates the allocates some funds to empowerment and helping out our community, especially in the education industry. We support the academics and cater to the education industry. Over this last pandemic, we were going out to different school districts, giving care packages to those who were in the front line of our pandemic and trying to help them out with either financial assistance or just tools and resources they may need for them and their family and whoever they're supporting as well. We're a member service driven organization, which means every member every time. Our field of membership expands all the way in Riverside County. We provide membership to anyone who works, worships, or even goes to school in the county. We are trusted by more than 150,000 members. We are actually the largest credit union in Riverside County with 19 branches and counting. In October, for those of you who are out in the East Valley area, we will be opening up our 20th branch with the hopes of continuing and expanding our membership to other parts of the county where we're not necessarily in. With that being said, we have access to over 30,000 ATMs nationwide, which means we're part of the co-op system or the shared branching, which means wherever you see a co-op logo in an ATM, you can make your transactions, or you can go in just about any credit union nationwide to do basic transactions like withdrawals, payments, check your balances, deposits. The only thing you cannot do is make changes to the account, but that's why we encourage you all to come into our branches and make those different changes. Would you mind? Next slide, please. So just like Niftali was mentioning earlier, we believe that it's important to empower our students, but how can we empower them if we don't necessarily know as the empowerers what tools and resources we have? Altura has created exclusively for Riverside County school teachers and educators or anyone who works in the industry an account we don't offer outside this type of environment, which is called the VIP checking account. The VIP checking account gets you access to free official checks, free money orders, unlimited boxes of checks. There is no fee for usage of your ATM outside the Altura network. There is no application fee on most of the loans, to be honest. And we have what's called the tiered dividends earned, which means because we're not a for-profit, we have the capability, instead of paying you interest on the money that you have in your account, to pay you dividends depending on what kind of balances you carry. Like I mentioned earlier, we're part of the co-ops system and the shared branching, which entitles you to jump into pretty much any credit union to make day-to-day transactions. And some additional services that this account includes are free home appraisal if you're interested in purchasing a home, as long as it's funded through Altura Credit Union. We have a really cool service called or Department of Altura called Auto Expert, which leads or serves as like an auto buying dealership, which means instead of you going and talking to the dealership and negotiating prices that way, you come to me directly, you tell me exactly what you're looking for, and more often than not, I end up getting the vehicle that you want at a cheaper price and off the MSRP, because we have certain contract with all these dealerships. And I believe actually one of us that are presenting today just went through that process. And I hope for them it was as seamless as I'm expressing as it is right now. You also have access to free credit monitoring at any time and tips on how to improve your credit and identity theft protection. Would you mind? Next slide, please. Something pretty neat that is exclusive to you as our COE employee is our Summer Savers account. Our Summer Savers account is a savings account designed to help you as whoever's on a 10-month, 11-month contract, or actually any contract with the county, with the school district, to earn and put away money and earn a 4%, and we pay that back to you at the months where you're not earning a paycheck. So we believe that you empower us so much. So why not give you more? You are the front force of tomorrow's of the future. So giving back to you is really what we're here to do. Um, there's no monthly service fee on this account, and the disbursements are done 2 times a year or 1 time, depending on what you choose. We have a pretty neat service that we just actually launched. No, we can click to the next one. We have a cool service that we launched called the Education Supply Card. The Education Supply Card is designed to give anybody, just about anybody, credit to make day-to-day transactions for their students, for their classroom, to help them with supplies at a 0% interest APR for the lifetime of the credit card. Contingent, you still work for the school district. Um, the dollar amount ranges from $200 to $3,000. Is that, like I said, at a 0%, and as long as you continue to make payments on that, your credit score will also be impacted directly in a positive manner. More often than not, we see educators be limited to the amount of money that they're allocated to purchase for their classroom activities, and this is one of the ways that we thought would be an exciting way to motivate you to use these funds and resources. The contingency to this is that you do have to have automatic payments from your checking account, the VIP checking account. The not a downfall, but something that is not allowed with this specific credit card is cash advances or balance transfers. But if that's the case, why would you want to use any other credit card that's charging you a 20% interest rate versus a 0% interest rate? Moving on to the next slide. Something that's really neat, and we're starting to transition not just to educators, but to even our community entirely, is called a credit builder. A credit builder is a savings, is a CD that we put away, either $1, $2, or $3,000, and we turn around and we make a contract with you guys, and we establish a monthly payment. At the end of the term, we pay you about a 4% interest, and we report it to the credit bureaus as a fully paid loan. This is super exciting for those who are just starting off their credit history, who have bad credit history, who have no credit history, something to empower them and look forward to, that they don't necessarily have to pay money to get credit. A lot of the times, a lot of people have that misconception that you have to pay interest in order to increase your credit score. At this point, that's not the case. It's a savings account, really, what you're depositing into monthly payments, and then at the end of the term, we report it back as a fully paid loan. Right now, I'm going to take some time to open it up for any questions if you may have before we get too far into the presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Cool. So we're going to move on to the next slide. Balance is a service that we have paid for anybody in the county. If this program or this team helps all of our members and everyone in Riverside County to reestablish, make debt consolidation, counseling, payment options. This team is dedicated to help you recover, stop the phone calls from any credit bill collectors, and just get you started on the right track instead of paying somebody to manage your credit. At this point, this is a free service across the board. Next slide. Like Niftali mentioned earlier, we have Altura Credit Union and RCRE have a long lifetime relationship where we have partnered up in doing a lot of sponsorships. We sponsor the State of Education. We also sponsor the Employee Years in Recognition, and then the Student Academic Award. Along with that, we wanted to bring to you not just the products and the services, but a brand new endeavor, which is the educational workshops. These workshops were approved by the league, the Credit Union, National Credit Union League, and are administered by your local credit union, at this point the Altura Credit Union, to provide some financial education to any age group and any with whatever doubts or concerns they may have around whatever topic. We offer, as you see on the screen, a total of probably 13, I think it is, workshops. We have 10 steps to financial success, building a better budget, identity theft, raising a smart, money smart kid, psychology of spending, rebuilding after financial crisis, teens and money, women in money, solving the mysteries of credit reports, understanding credit, using home equity, and becoming a homeowner. We have identified these as being the top um, conversation starters across the board, and what a lot of people have a lot of doubts in. I have used these. Yes. No. So the idea. Sorry. Are these workshops?
I can read the
I'm
question,
sorry.
and then
Can
that
you
way
help me with
everyone
that?
that hasn't seen the chat. So, uh, Janelle
Yes,
Kenyon
please.
asks, are these workshops something that can be held district wide, or are they only for members of Altura?
No, the idea is that these workshops, we're empowering you as educators to empower your students with bringing them knowledge. And this is offered across the board to you as educators, but not only to your students, but even we're going to be offering it and opening it up to the community. So eventually, we want to get to the point where we get enough interest from the parents. So they are educating their students not only at work, I'm sorry, at school, but even at home. A lot of times I've noticed I've gone in to teach the mysteries of credit at Coachella Valley Unified School District, and that seems to be a very hot topic. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, team, next week is our first yeah, and this is open to anybody, to be honest. I would prefer this to be adults and then modify it to your demographic or your student. Obviously, we're not going to talk to a high school student the same way as we're going to talk to a middle school or even an elementary school. We have worked together with the Girl Scouts of America, putting together workshops for them, literally all age groups. So we can customize these workshops to fit your particular demographic. Um, and what's more exciting is the fact that together we can help our students become financially successful and financially competent. All these workshops, I performed workshops across the Riverside County with Altura. And even as an adult, even working in the financial industry, I've learned a lot of things, you know, by attending and by even teaching these workshops. So I encourage every single one of you to really take an interest and encourage your students, or encourage, somehow work this into your curriculum so we can empower everybody in the near future. We have super exciting news that's coming your way. We're just waiting for a couple of approval that we've been working with the RCOE, and we hope to release that news pretty soon. That will correlate and directly tie into all these workshops. Does anybody have any questions at this moment?
Well, now, can I ask a question as a former school counselor and someone that, as I kind of look through these workshops and all the great topics, I know folks are excited about it. I wonder if you could talk to us, because there's school counselors here, there's administrators, there's community liaisons. I mean, you have a lot of educational background here. I wonder if you could point to, out of these, I see like, I don't know, 10 here on the screen. Which one would you say that folks should start with? Like, let's say I'm a middle school counselor and I want to get this going, but I don't know where to start. It's overwhelming. I don't have a lot of time. What would be like your one or two go-tos, if that makes sense? Which ones would folks get the most bang for their buck from, if that makes sense?
I think that that's kind of a loaded question, just because I feel that depending on the audience is what we want to target. If you're a middle school teacher and just really want to talk about savings, the Raising a Smart Money Kid is a great one, or even the Teens and Money, we're able to help you out. Teens are not necessarily looking at credit. This is more like the credit, solving the mysteries of credit is more like for the older generation. I'm going to speak for myself and give you a personal example. When I just turned 18, I remember I went to a bank out there, and I was super excited to come back home to tell my parents that I had gotten a credit card. Uh, as soon as my dad saw it, he says, "You need to cut that up and cancel your card." I said, "Sure, whatever dad says, I gotta do." I cut it up, and it was probably the biggest mistake of my credit adulthood life. That in return affected my credit score to the point where I'm closing down the first line of credit that anybody extended out to me. I don't necessarily have to use it, but it just kind of goes to show you how it's not our parents' fault. It's not anybody's fault other than ourselves to educate our students and empower them to be financially successful and help them out get started on the right track. So I do believe that wherever we start here is definitely going to be a huge asset to anyone, either adults, young adults, teens, or children.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions?
I see a question in the
So,
chat.
mhm.
It says,
When
when are you offering these?
So the idea is that you contact me to be able to connect with your corresponding business development officer, and they will be providing the educational workshops according to their schedule and according to your schedule. And ideally, we want to be able to reach many people at the same time. But if we start off on one school or two schools, I don't see there being an issue with our business development officers catering to your needs. Any other questions?
Good questions, folks. Keep them coming. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide. These are just a couple of testimonials that we've added in to talk about us as an organization and how we are different than a traditional bank and how we genuinely care about each and every member. Our motto literally is enriching lives and empowering dreams. And at this point, I believe that we both see, everyone in this chat sees the importance of empowering our future with our children, or at this point, our students. Would you mind clicking to the next slide, please? This concludes the presentation from my part. This is my content information. We have actually created a website just for you as educators. If you do want to get in contact with me, go ahead and go to www.alturacu.com/JG for Juvenal Gonzalez -ED as an education. On there, you'll see all of these services that we talked about. And again, these are exclusive to you as RCOE employees. Does anybody have any questions? With that being said, thank you all so much for this opportunity. We appreciate the partnership. We appreciate how else we can work together. And thank you so much.
I wanted to, just briefly connect, and I'm sure you all have seen on April 27, we'll be having a solving the mystery credit report for that Juvenal and his colleagues will be giving for K-12 students and families. But that doesn't mean that our educators can't join. So if you're available and would like to join, I've also on the chat put a link to the workshops that are, that take you directly to our RCOE website. Um, Part of the goal at RCOE is to ensure that, we have these type of educational workshops in our schools. At one point, hopefully it's part of our curriculum, but we're getting here. And so thank you so much for being part of this. Wanted to include Pedro before we close. Pedro, any closing remarks?
No, just thank you so much for just the wealth of knowledge and resources, Juvenal. They look amazing. I know as a former educator, I could see myself doing these with students, families, anybody, especially our families that speak Spanish, because I saw some things were offered in both. So that's amazing. I know folks can definitely get in touch with you and benefit from these. And I wanted to just see if there's any way you could give us a snapshot maybe of what do the student lessons look like. I don't know if you maybe have one there, or you just walk us through like what can folks expect from like a workshop at the classroom level. 'Cause I know I have some districts that would be excited to take you up on this offer to have you come in. Could you walk us through that with the time we have left and just give us a like a
Yeah,
preview
that's not a
maybe?
problem. I won't go to the workshop because it is about again, we customize it to fit our demographic, but it's a very
Mhm.
interactive workshop. Really, we hand out flyers, we have them do math, we have them do, it's really interesting to see these workshops really develop because all of a sudden you have teenagers asking about credit, teenagers not knowing what credit is, and then really we start getting a lot of like open forum almost versus a structured um, workshop, and it becomes a very interactive workshop. So, like I said, I could pull up the workshops if you'd like. Give me just a second.
Yeah, well, would folks benefit from that out there? I know we have some time for questions and answers and things like that, but I just wanted to see if anybody, it sounds like yes. I think folks would just get some value from seeing kind of what it would look like at the kid level, especially as they're teaching this curriculum and teaching these lessons to the kiddos we serve, if that's okay.
Yeah, give me a second.
No problem. Thank you so much. And while he does that, folks out there, if you have any ideas on how you might get started with this or any other questions, I know we're trying to go county-wide with this initiative for sure. And we're always looking at who's doing the right work, who's trailblazing these efforts for us at the classroom school level. If it's a counselor, great. If it's a history teacher, awesome. It doesn't have to be a certain person. We just want to see this happen across the county. So if you have any best practices you want to share out, definitely make those known. Reach out to myself or Neftali or anybody on our team. We want to make sure we spotlight you, we highlight you so we can get these practices across the board. Great, great. I see from Ms. Johnson, I've had presentations like this for college savings for career day week. Excellent. Great way to incorporate these into your career days or your college career weeks and things like that. Wonderful.
Yeah, and as you all reach out to Altura, if you decide to, or any other institution, make sure you share it and share it with us, with Pedro, myself, and Catalina and the team. That way, we also recognize it and make sure that, that we're aware of the financial literacy that's taking place across our county. So, stay in conversation with us.
And Catalina, who's not maybe with us right now, but is our executive director of CCR and just pioneers this work for sure. I know she made mention yesterday, and I'll get you the research on her behalf, but she had a great research study that shows that if we can deliver this financial literacy to our kiddos when they're young, it's going to have a positive impact on their academic outcomes. So that's huge. And if you have an administrator or someone that's not sure about this or not really like, I don't know if we should teach that right now, definitely that's good research to bring to the table and say, this is why this matters. This is why we're investing so much time, energy into teaching kids this before they leave our buildings, right? So I'll get you that as well. Sorry, I'm moving on. I'm not sure if you have the info ready.
Um, I don't. Give me just a second.
No problem.
So we have this high encrypted USB with a code, and I can't open it. So give me a sec.
No worries, no worries. Other folks, do you have any other questions or comments or wonderings? Any other activities you're doing or you might consider doing? Even in a virtual landscape.
You know what? I'm so sorry to say this, but I can't open it up. I have a, I I really don't know how to work my key fob, to be honest. So is it okay if we touch base more so on outside, and I can send you guys the PowerPoint presentation so you can look at them, review them. Um, so if that's okay with everybody, like I said, my contact information I actually put it up on the chat, so you guys
Well,
can
there's a question.
reach out to me.
Can you share more about the savings account? It only pays 4% during the
Are
6
you
years.
referencing? No, 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 no. So are you referencing the summer savers account? No, the savings account, we pay you a, we, no, you can contribute up to $2,500 a month and up to $25,000 a year. And we pay you an APY of 4% on the balance that you have in that account. So a lot of times, what a lot of our educators like to do is instead of putting that money into a regular savings account, if they put it into the summer savers account, leave it there, they end up making, that and some based on the money that they have stored away in that savings account. That answer
Great
your question?
question. Thank you. Okay, folks, are there, oh, I think, thank you so much, Jamina. So it looks like she found that research that we were talking about that Katrina mentioned. So please check that out. Great resource for you to use to show how to leverage this early info about college financial aid and work that with your stakeholders. Folks are just saying thank you. They'd like for you to send info about the parent workshops. So you definitely have Mr. Gonzalez's email there. Check that out for sure. Are there any more questions, folks? This is a great chance to ask away.
Oh, you know what? I just got it. Give me a second.
All right.
I'll briefly
Let's
share
do it.
because Juvenal mentioned while he gets that together. I was a person who Juvenal mentioned that did the car thing recently. I was a Friday. My car battery died, and I got tired of it, and I texted Juvenal the pictures of my car, and I said I want to trade this car in. And like 3 business days later, they had the car I wanted at Altura and Indio, and I just went in, dropped off the keys for my old car, and signed papers. Lasted no more than 15 minutes, and had my car driving away. And so just wanted to share that because he mentioned about the the auto sales that they do. And so, but yeah, I recently did that and very happy with having done that. It did not take over an hour at the dealer dealing with paperwork because the team took care of it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Neftali. I didn't want to put you on blast, to be honest. But yes, it's stories like that that we strive ourselves, and when we say every member every time, really we want to make the financial process such an seamless and streamlined process for everybody. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna be sharing my screen. Uh, so these are the worksheets that we have. Um, we can let's look at the Raising a Smart Money Kid. So there are a couple handouts that we do provide everybody. And there are scenarios that we put together, like for instance, in this case, and we ask questions at the beginning just to test the knowledge, and then we answer them throughout the entire presentation. Give me a second, let me minimize this. And like I said, all of our presentations or workshops, we can custom make it and go through them with the educator prior to see what they feel is going to be high impact versus low impact, or what they want to target specifically. And even if you want to combine multiple presentations and say, you know what, I want to talk about this and this, we can even customize it and create just what you guys are looking for specifically. So this presentation is targeted to adults talking to their children or educating their children. And again, just creating a role model or what behaviors are appropriate, money, kids and money. We talk about from uh, different sorts of income, which are different allowances, and kind of giving them what we call a bite of reality, helping them understand that by if you perform this task, you get this much, and this is how we're supposed to manage that kind of budget. So it's a really pretty cool process to see the little lights inside everybody's head kind of go off. Oh, the aha moments, I like to call them. So like I said, these presentations or these workshops, um, does anybody have any questions? Sorry, I minimized the
Yeah, Juvenal, there's a question, I believe, back to the 4%. They want a clarification whether the 4% is yearly, or can you clarify, please?
yes, it's annual percent yield. It is on a yearly base. So the summer savers, you don't get paid out on it uh, on a monthly basis. You get paid out on it on whichever month you choose. So if you say you want to get paid two times a year or once a year, then at that point we'll decide either you get it on in July, August, or August, September, or one or the other, really. Any other questions?
I see none. So on that note, I think we'll close it out and to say thank you again. We went on for a great presentation, lots of good resources. I know folks are going to definitely blow up your email with requests to help them in their schools. And I applaud all your work, everybody out there. Please, please keep us in mind, keep us posted so we can know what great things you're working on. And thank you so much to Naftali for leading us today. I know his email is there as well, and mine, I'll put mine there in a minute or so you can have them too. But thank you all for joining us on this call. We will have, I think our parent one is tonight at 5 p.m. Join us for that. And we'll have other endeavors for you to join us and take part in as well. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, just to kind of close up, this is my cell phone. Feel free to reach out to me whenever you want. And I'd be happy to share with you whatever information you may need. I work great by phone, by text, or by email. My email is jgonzalez@alturacu.com, or my phone number 760-499-2840. Other than that, thank you guys. You guys have an excellent rest of your afternoon, and thank you for taking the time to participate in this webinar.
Everybody, thank you. Have a great rest of your week.